Hello and welcome to another episode of
the Anything Else podcast that is now at Haines Mile Pub.
It is indeed, yeah. We've done a lot of episodes of this, and it takes me a while. My name is Ollieldrick. I'm mostly the host. To my right, I have my co-host, Mr. Alex Lintz.
To the left is Alex Lintz, yeah.
To the even further left is Mr. Dallasoutsyder.
Hello, I'm Dallasoutsyder.
And joining us on the hot seat today, hopefully I get this correct, is Mr. Matt Stinn.
You got it.
It's lovely to have you on the show, man. It's lovely to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I like free coffee.
Absolutely. Now, we know you by reputation. We've met a few times. But our audience may not. Do you want to give us a little bit of background about who Matt Stinn is?
Oh.
It doesn't have to be much.
Yeah, I vote left. I am a audio engineer / record producer based in Saskatoon. And when I'm not making records with people and doing that type of thing, I tour and perform in a band called Greenwing.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Now, we'd love to hear about this stuff. We could talk about music all day, but
As always, can you talk about anything else?
Oh, can I talk about anything else? Man, I'm a very opinionated person to a fault. I feel like the topic we need to cover today is breakfast food.
Oh, excellent.
Breakfast food.
Okay.
I'm on a 3-day kick right now where I've made it to like a proper brunch 3 days in a row, and I'm having a great week.
Yeah.
all right, so awesome. lay it into us.
Okay, so before we get into breakfast food, we got to talk pizza theory, okay?
Okay.
So when I ask somebody their favorite pizza, they got two pizzas in mind, okay? There's your garbage, I'm drunk and a bastard at 3 a.m. shit pizza.
Yeah.
And then there's the like, I just paid $60 for a sit-down meal. That was pleasant pizza.
Yeah.
You know, there's no middle ground. It's trash or good. So for me, it's like crappy Domino's at 2 a.m. Or it's like I went out to, like 13 Pies and had a couple cocktails and got like a way too expensive pizza that tasted great.
Yeah.
Breakfast food is the exact same way.
I would agree.
Yeah, you got your like really like upscale, really nice Benny. I'm sitting down. The people like know me as a regular. They got my coffee on check. It's like a good quality espresso. And then there's also the like I went to Park Cafe and they definitely just deep fried the bacon. And both of those are great for very different reasons.
Like, there's a place, a good cafe to start your day, and there is a place to finish your night, and they're not necessarily the same place.
No, not at all. And breakfast food is like we call it breakfast food, but let's be real. Like I primarily eat brunch in the noon area. Like I'm not an early riser. Morning at work for me is 10 a.m. and like usually that's like me drudging my way through it. Like my brain doesn't really turn on until about noon.
Yeah.
So brunch is big for me. Big on eggs. But I feel like the biggest polarizing opinion about brunch or breakfast food is if you like French toast.
We've had a few discussions about this.
Yes.
So
where are you at on this?
So growing up in England, breakfast is definitely savoury. 100% fry up, full English, that sort of thing. Whilst French toast does exist in the UK, I grew up considering French toast is sometimes called just eggy bread, sometimes known as poor nights of Windsor if we're being really archaic.
Okay.
Which is the same thing. You're dipping bread into an egg mixture.
It's the same vibe.
But rather than covering it with powdered sugar, maybe some maple syrup, some fruit, it is salt, pepper, very little else.
They give you the classic like brown dinner English cooking experience.
It's a savory thing. And you just
I got
stack
you.
That. And so that's why. And then I came over here and everyone's like, I have to have it with brioche and all these things. And so I'm savory all the way. And so when I go to French toast place, it feels dessert. It feels like dessert to me.
Invite you.
Yeah. No, that's where I land. I feel like French toast is not breakfast; it's dessert.
Fascinating.
And French toast is not breakfast. I respect the fact that it's treated like breakfast, and I'm not going to poo-poo on it if you really like French toast. But like when I go for breakfast, I'm getting like protein and carbs, and I'm soaking up the sin and all that type of jazz. But like French toast is like it's just not breakfast food.
Because your French toast, your ideal breakfast, I think, is French toast.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I cut back on the sweetness quite a bit of it. Like I don't really go with like a lot of places you get like too much like powdered icing sugar and all this other stuff. I don't do any of that.
I feel like the sweetness balance on a lot of food too is like kind of personal taste.
Yeah.
Whereas like you really got to screw up bacon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like bacon is, here's what you get. It's salty, it's savory, it's this product. French toast, it's like your ratios really matter.
Yeah.
So like I've had good French toast. I'm not crapping on French toast. I'm just saying it's not breakfast.
Dallas, where do you stand on it?
Oh yeah, I guess.
I'm a slut for breakfast.
Yeah, you really
but
are.
French toast?
I'm not a huge French toast guy, honestly. Unless you add like a little bit of like
I think
cinnamon.
you've got some fellow disciples of
Where do you stand on like breakfast potatoes? Do you prefer like cubed shredded hash browns or
different preferences for different things? Okay. First thing, flavor and mouthfeel are very important.
Yeah.
And you can have good flavor but bad mouthfeel, and I feel like one does not make up for the other. You need kind of that combo, right?
Yeah.
So like I feel like potatoes in the breakfast format got to be crispy because it like plays into the savory of like eggs and bacon and that type of vibe.
for sure?
I'm a big fan of like Park Cafe does like a kind of their potato hash move is like it's just little cubed pieces of potato that are definitely just grilled on a flat top with like some green onions and like peppers and stuff. And it's like it's just got that little bit of salty sweetness to it, and it's just crispy enough.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, there's a place downtown called OEB.
Yeah.
And their vibe is they just cook wedged potatoes in beef fat.
Yeah.
And that is like a goddamn religious experience.
Oh yeah,
I literally had that
They're fancy.
2 hours ago.
It's good stuff though.
I was doing research for the podcast.
I haven't been to OEB actually.
I had
It's been-
their lobster eggs Benny.
See,
Lobster eggs
so that's the
Benny.
thing is like, yeah, they're pretty. They're bougie. It's like get your breakfast bacon bowl with like a side of microgreens type shit, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not if you're going there for like a hangover brunch, like be prepared to be upset, you know. But they're like they're kind of that food experience where like you're paying for something that you probably wouldn't go through the effort of making at home. Whereas like diner breakfast is a little more like get in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they both got their purposes, right? Like I like a good bougie breakfast.
What's your go-to place in the city for a diner breakfast? Like
Diner breakfast?
for hangover cure
Park
breakfast.
Cafe on 20th. It's been run by 3 generations of the same family.
That's
I'm pretty
great.
sure the tiles on the roof are made of asbestos. It's got a weird smell to it, and they deep fry all of their meat.
That is
Perfect.
That's exactly what I
It
want
tastes
from that.
exactly like you think it's going to. It's consistent. It's fast. It's not open on Mondays. That's fucked me a few times. Gone there for like lunch and immediately closed. And of course it's closed. It's Monday, right?
Yeah.
But no, Park Cafe is like my, let's go for like a quick greasy spoon type breakfast.
It doesn't fall as deeply into the greasy spoon as Park Cafe does, but I think my go-to for that is Broadway Cafe.
Yes. See, so not to be like a purist, but Broadway Cafe kind of lost me a little bit when they put the gray floors in there.
Fair enough.
I'm going to be honest and say I don't think the food quality changed at all, but now it just looks like a middle-aged millennial wife's kitchen, and that kind of doesn't do it for me. And I am a believer that like especially for something like a greasy, lazy brunch, if you're going for it, like part of the reason you're going there is the space you're going to be in. It's
100%.
It's like why do you go to a nice coffee shop and sit down? And it's because you're enjoying the space you're in, right? So yeah, nothing against Broadway Cafe, but like I have converted to the stream of Park Cafe folk.
I gotta check out Park Cafe. I've got somewhere new to go to, and my place for bougie, I'd go for. Have you been to Living Skies on 3rd?
Yes. I used to live downtown, so I did like a big go all the breakfast, go all the coffee spots.
When I had an afternoon shift or anything, bartending and serving, before my shift, I tend to go to Living Skies. I really liked it. They do some. Really...
You know what crushes me about Living Skies though? They have really high ceilings and zero sound treatment, so the room just sounds noisy to me. And I am autistic as hell.
There's the main reason I go back there is I'm not a big fan of all the food they do, and they do one thing that really bugs me, and a few places do it. And this is
what do we got?
if you serve me fried food, if I'm getting eggs, bacon, sausage, all that stuff, I don't want fruit. Don't put fruit on my plate. Don't put fruit on my plate. I'm
They
not
give
going
you some
to eat
guilt
it.
fruit to remind you that
I'm
you
not
got to
going to
care
eat
for
it.
your
I'm just
body.
taking up space. And now my eggs taste a bit of pineapple, and I don't want that. But no, they do a beer cheese sauce that is to die for, and their sausage goes really well with Saskatoon berry jam.
Can we jump back to the fruit on the side of your plate?
Absolutely.
Don't give me a fruit cup. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
But if I'm eating like this big old plate of like carbs and fat and garbage, and I'm like, hell yeah, life's good. Just like one little orange slice to finish it with is like the best.
See,
I love that.
I'm a man who loves to be. I love the coating of grease on the inside of my mouth when I finish, and I want to linger with
You want
that.
to sit in your sin.
Also, the acidity
Yeah.
of the fruit probably doesn't play well with your massive amount of cabbage.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that would do it. Okay. Can we talk about like fruit cups offered with breakfast though?
Okay.
Honeydew melon and cantaloupe That's bullshit. You find that in your fruit cup? That's a lie. I don't know why they're doing that. So anyways, I'm going to hype up Park Cafe again. You get a fruit cup from them. It's like banana, berries. Like there's kiwi in that shit for some reason.
Yeah.
Like they're on it.
I feel like you're allowed one type of melon.
Yeah, but like if
I've
that
seen fruit
melon
cups that
overtakes 50% of the fruit
Yeah.
cup, it's, you know, it's like the shrinkflation of fruit.
I've been to breakfast places where I've seen cantaloupe, honeydew, and watermelon, and that is taken up 70
And then this
to
is
80%.
just all of it. And it's like, none of this is good. I want citrus. Come on.
Yeah, melon is there for bulking, and we know it.
Yeah, no, melon is like you're filling the space. It's kind of like it's like the bread product of the fruit world, if you will. It's just like space filler. But like, if we're talking like fruit in relation to breakfast, citrus. Berries are nice. They're a garnish. That's cool.
Yeah.
But citrus is a fruit for
And,
breakfast.
and if you're having greasy food, it does cut through.
Citrus sits nice.
Okay, so we're gonna now go. You're going for we'll say a fried platter rather than going for an eggs Benedict or something like that. You're going for what eggs?
Oh, so we're talking like, what's my bougie breakfast order?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So anytime I go to OEB, I get the same thing because again, autistic as hell. I get just a classic eggs Benny. They got their potato wedges that are fried in beef. Super, super good. Like insanely addictive. And I'm sure it's like 1,000 calories or something, but whatever, right?
Do it. It's worth it.
Eggs Benny. You got to go Canadian back bacon. That shit always, Canadian back bacon is the move, right?
Yeah.
That's on a cut in half croissant. And then, you know what? Extra eggs Benny. I always get a side of eggs Benny and I just douse my meal. That's
Interesting.
it. It's so basic, and like when you say it out loud and you realize like, oh yeah, butter tastes good.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, croissant is basically just butter made slightly more solid.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is like prior to doing music professionally, I did a lot of kitchen jobs, and besides learning that I hated standing for 10 hours and like that environment can just jump off a bridge, I did also learn that you know why things taste good in a restaurant? Because bricks of butter are cooked into them.
I watched I watched my friend cook restaurant style carrots.
Yeah.
That he cooked
Yeah,
like
and what do you
three,
use, like
three really nice ones, and he used
quarter
half. and he used
pound of
half-
butter. Yeah. Yeah, totally. And like you didn't need to salt it, you didn't need to pepper it. It was just done.
It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
immaculate.
No, restaurant cooking taught me a lot of really cool things. Mainly that it's all smoke and mirrors and lies. Nothing costs what you think it does. Every salad gets salted. That one threw me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like anytime you're in a nice restaurant, they're salting the salads before it goes out because the salad opens the taste buds on your tongue, so you're more receptive to the fresh flavors, and they can make like a more subtle tasting salad that feels richer and like healthier to you.
Interesting.
And it makes sense because
it's just
one of the
science.
first things you're told if you know to plus up your food is if you're having tomato, salt and pepper it because
Dude,
it
it's
opens it
so-
up, and it makes sense that you do it for the rest of the salads.
Simple, bold flavors with salt and pepper. It's that same rule of like, if you have a good quality steak, like you don't need to bathe it in something.
Yeah, Dallas, you don't need to put blue cheese on a good steak.
Oh, you know what? No, blue cheese is hype. We're good with that.
Yeah, okay,
but
good.
I will say the best steak I've ever had is just super expensive cut of meat. Heat a cast iron until it's crazy fucking hot. You just black and blue it really fast. Salt, pepper. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Then you cut it open.
If I'm having
That's it.
if I'm having a sirloin or slightly not the sirloin is cheap cut of steak, but if you're going for like a more bulky steak,
Yeah.
I love it with a bit of peppercorn sauce or something like that. But yeah, if you're going for a fillet steak,
If you're going
I'm
for something
having
with like good fat marbling,
all
that
I
like
want, all I want is to
Yeah.
eat is the meat. That's all I want to taste.
Also, if you are spending good money on a steak and you're getting it cooked anything more than medium, please find a bridge.
100%. You're ruining good meat. Question for you though:
Go.
steak at breakfast. What's your opinion?
Device of choice.
Because it's new as an Englishman. It feels very North American to me.
No, can I hit you with this?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody gets steak at breakfast at a place that has no business serving you steak. If you had like proper, like great quality, like, you know, a good ribeye with like a side of eggs and hash browns, I think that would be life changing. The problem is nobody wants to sit down and spend $55 on a breakfast.
Yeah.
So
are
you're
100%
inevitably
correct.
getting like this like little quarter-inch grilled to a piece of shit steak at like Denny's. Why are you getting steak at Denny's?
Yeah.
You know what you are. You're at Denny's.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Stop
get it.
that.
You wouldn't get it without the breakfast.
No.
So, yeah, why would you get it with your breakfast?
Yeah, nobody thinks I want steak and then Denny's in the same
Yeah.
sentence. And like, with all respect to the diners that do steak at breakfast, they know what they're doing too. They're upselling you on a product. There's no way they're offering you a diner priced breakfast with even remotely decent quality beef.
Yeah.
Like, how can you possibly do that?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You can make a good sausage on the cheap. You can't make a good steak on the cheap.
No, like we can, without getting into like commodity pricing of stuff and everything, it's like it's very hard, short of doing like crazy bulk, to get steak at any type of like discount rate as like a wholesaler. And even then it's like this like situation where like, okay, then you have frozen steak. Immediately that's like such a downgrade.
Yeah.
Like it's like you wouldn't freeze sushi or sushi fish rather.
Actually, you do have to by law.
You have to freeze it?
You have to by law because it kills the micro. If you're not going to cook it, it kills microbes in it.
Is that just in Saskatchewan or in Canada?
Canada in general.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's vaguely disappointing for me to know.
It's a food safety thing. It's
interesting.
If anyone says, I believe this is true. If I'm wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
Email us. But I believe you have to freeze the fish, because if you do this, if you're serving raw fish, if you're doing like a bit of fried fish and like a dynamite roll or something, that's a little bit different. But because you're not serving it, if it's wild caught, I know you have to freeze it because.
But if it's farmed, there's probably different regulations. Maybe. Interesting. I should look into that, because I have a lot of opinions on quality of sushi and how it changes with pretty much every hour you get away from the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Like anytime I'm in Vancouver, I'll go get like a $6 sushi roll in English Bay.
Unreal.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I will not buy a $6 sushi roll in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
That's a mistake, buddy. You're going for sushi? Spend $70. Treat your body. Yeah.
I got one for you. So,
Yeah, what do we
do you
got?
drink with breakfast? I know you have a coffee now, but do you ever go for a juice or anything like that? Or
Ooh. I am habitually a black coffee drinker.
Okay.
When I'm being cautious about it, I'm feeling worn out, I'm tired, I got a lot going on, I try to just consume a lot of water. And then like if I'm like feeling like pretty beat down, like it's been a long weekend, I just played a bunch of shows or something, then I'm like a nice crisp orange juice. But the important part here is orange juice with pulp.
okay,
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, don't give me any of that sifted shit. I want orange juice I need to chew.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is a very divisive topic in my relationship, 'cause my partner Marley hates
See,
pulp.
I'm not. I will drink with pulp. The thing that always annoys me, my dad. I know he's going to listen to this and he's going to message me about this when he sees it. Insisted on buying pulp as a kid, and I just didn't always. It just got sludgy at the bottom, and I always managed to get that last. So I tend
What
to.
you're describing sounds like the best glass of orange juice I could imagine.
And honestly, like I don't mind it with pulp, but I find it doesn't add any benefits to me. So I don't. To me, at least, it always felt, unless you're being squeezed a fresh orange juice in front of you. If I'm buying in a carton, I'm buying smooth.
See, I like the mouthfeel of pulp. It's like vaguely smoothie adjacent.
Yeah, that seems fair. Dallas,
Yeah.
Not a pulp guy. I just don't like any ounce of edible food in my drink.
you don't want any complexity at all.
No, I don't like to chew my drink.
So
See,
I can
Ollie always-
respect it, but I don't understand it.
Ollie always judges me for drinking apple juice because he always says that apple juice is something that you should stop drinking once you no longer
It's
drink
just-
it in a juice box.
For some reason, it's like you see someone drink orange. You can continue to drink orange juice, and there's not any public pressure about like stop drinking orange juice. It's like a
Orange
thing.
juice is like a proper adult drink, and I think the correlation is because people put liquor in orange juice, so we're just like, yeah, cool, go for
I think you
it.
might be right
Right?
because apple juice, like I know there's nothing wrong with it. I know that. But I used when I would 10 bar and I'd work like Sunday brunches. Occasionally, you'd see this full-grown man be like, "Can I have an apple juice?" And I'm like,
Guy who
"Are you a
asks
bitch?"
Yeah, the guy who asks you for apple juice is also ordering chocolate milk.
Yeah,
Oh,
And let me
man,
tell
that's
you
the
two things.
best,
Number
though.
one, chocolate milk fucks. Get your milk, baby. Number two, yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. If you like it, I think as long as we can agree that grapefruit juice is bullshit.
Grapefruit
just
juice
bitter
is
shit.
It's somehow far not flavorful enough and far too flavorful at the same time.
Yeah, it's just like this is tart and has no flavor, but also it tastes like static. And you know what? Grapefruit juice tastes to me like what I expect orange juice to taste like if you forget it in the back of your fridge for 3 weeks. Yeah.
Stale.
There is nothing. In the same thing as there's nothing worse than like peeling an orange and discovering that you're peeling a grapefruit. I've done that a couple of times.
I don't have that problem because I buy my groceries and make choices, and like grapefruit doesn't come into my house. Come on, I live there.
I did it at a continental breakfast place, and I've never been so disappointed in my life.
That's upsetting. You're just like, what the fuck was
Cut into
this?
this thing thinking I'm going to get like a nice rich.
Yeah,
Is that
you see the weird like kind of off pink color inside it, and you're like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Because if I'm that's the thing. If whilst I'm not a big fan of necessarily like pulp like carton or like bottles orange juice, biting into a fresh orange, just scraping everything out is animalistic and wonderful.
It's very satisfying.
It is.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's like when you have a medium rare steak and it like just has a little bit of blood to it, and you're just like,
I have mine blue.
Dallas, what's your favorite breakfast place in town?
French toast restaurant.
I am a recent convert to French
Where's
toast.
French toast again?
It's in Sutherland. It's where the Robins.
It's on Central.
Right. It's like one of those like classic like family restaurants that's probably 100% run by a like small Italian family.
So good.
It's awesome.
I love their pulled pork Benny.
Pulled pork Benny.
That's a bold choice. That's a beefy, I guess porky breakfast.
One thing we try and do with this podcast, by the way, one of the things we're doing, one is just to let musicians vent about things they're passionate about that aren't music. But secondly is Dallas over here was grown in a cave. And so we try and expand his worldview. Dallas, have you got any final
questions for our expert?
So this breakfast has like the best smell, in general, right?
It's pleasant. It's like you smell it and it's morning.
But do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
What the? Do I smell what?
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
He's back going to that well. Back on the WWE rut.
WWE is amazing to me. Both in the fact that like somehow it's run like a mafia.
Yeah.
How did they get somebody like The Rock to sign a lifetime contract? Like that guy is making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and he will forever go back for cameo appearances because they own him and his DNA.
Yeah.
We just finished watching the Mr. McMahon documentary the other night.
My favorite is how it opens, and they're just like. They make a big point of being like, we did all these interviews before they came out that he was like a sex trafficker.
And he's just incriminating himself
It cuts to the interview, and all you can think is like, holy shit, stop talking. Like, you have money. You must have lawyers. Like, has the guy on TikTok who tells you not to talk to cops not popped up for you? Like, what the hell?
It is endlessly fascinating.
It is ridiculous.
We're going to move on to some of our regular segments.
What do we got?
Matt, so you can relax. You just got to be on the ball about these things.
Ooh, okay.
First one is Who Dis. This is a segment where I'm going to give you the name of a real person. They exist in the real world. I'm not expecting you to know who they are. I want you to give me their biography based on the vibes of their name alone.
Oh, I'm just making something up.
Yeah, I want you to...
And is this a fairly well-known person that we just assume I won't know?
Oh, God, no. I'm searching the annals of history for these.
So I love this because when me and my partner Marley go out for meals, number one thing we usually do is we sit down and we find like another couple in the restaurant and we're just like, what's their deal?
Well, so
and like we love playing the like, do they hate each other or is this just a weird first date?
I need you to give me what's the deal of Praise God Barebone.
What's the last name? Sorry,
Barebone.
Barebone. Praise God. Okay.
Praise God hyphenated first name.
Yeah. So Praise God. That's immediately got to be a Nigerian name. Anytime you like Glory Be or like any name like that, like I feel like it's like very, 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 very Christian. But like specifically the like I love everybody, come be my friend, how can I serve you, Christian?
Yeah.
Which like we're cool with that. I don't know, like religion is not my thing, but like as long as you're not a dick about it, it's fine.
So you think he's some sort of religious figure from Nigeria?
Well, maybe from a religious family, right?
Yeah.
Or probably from a religious like culture, I would say.
You're definitely right there.
Yeah, so I'm going with that. Oh man. That's a hard one. It's like how do I nail down who this person would be? I'm definitely going with like 100% like Nigerian though. Like that as soon as I heard that name.
Yeah.
Any like I've had it in my industry all the time where like people cold call email me and I'll get emails from like specifically like people want to do like praise and worship music, which totally happens, right? And it's always names like that and it's always related to the church and faith.
Yeah.
So I think that's hard. Like if you told me it was like Donald Clump or something, I'd have like a much easier time like nailing down like who this white guy from Minnesota is. But, like short of like being very definitive about what country this person is from, that's pretty much all I got.
Can we just start doing who disses of people that just run car dealerships in Middle America?
I can,
Oh, man.
We could have done the infamous Regina gas station owner Dick Assman. No, praise God, Barebone was actually.
First of all, his last name is Osman. Yeah, that family gets super mad when you say Assman.
I'll keep that in mind next time I'm in Regina.
Imagine.
No, he was actually. You were right. Obviously, very religious. We're going back about 500 years. He was a Puritan MP in England during the Civil
Really?
War, and it could have been worse. I could have given you his son's name, which I wrote down.
What do we got?
Who was, if Christ had not died for thee, thou hadst been damned, Barebone. He went by Nicholas.
He went by Nicholas.
I can't work out why.
Honestly, amazing.
Well, it's because it was an acronym for.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, so
that's wild. Okay. You know what? I respect anybody's ability to have a creative name. I'm so sorry they did that to their kid.
the old Puritan names from, like, if you look at Puritan names from about the 1600s, early 1700s.
Kind of that like crossing the ocean Puritans.
Yeah, they are wild. It's a great way to like kill an hour. The next segment we have is Hill to Die On. So this is Dallas over here.
Oh.
I'm going to give you something that you need to stake your claim and die on this petty hill.
Whether or not I care about it.
Whether you
I
know
got
you
you.
can.
And we're debating about it?
You're debating.
Oh, man,
you
I
get
got
dealer's
you.
choice of which one you want. And actually,
Sure.
this relates to what we've been talking about already. What is better, dine in or take out?
Can I quantify the argument with a couple questions?
Sure.
Is it an expensive place or a cheap place?
I'm saying the general idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
The general idea overall.
Yeah.
Okay, the argument I'm going to take on this is the cultural stance of eating food in a public space and eating food that's been prepared for you. If you remove the whole, like, you're sad and depressed, you want to get Five Guys and eat it in the parking lot where people can't see you from the equation.
Yeah.
Get that out of there, okay? Real specific, obviously. Not related to anything I've gone through.
No.
That's what I do.
Nothing like a shame burger, hey? So removing that as, like, a possibility, I think if you're paying for a meal to be prepared for you, part of what you're inherently typically paying for is the atmosphere in which you're consuming it, the service of being, served and waited on, and like the inherent like cultural tie of that, the idea that like you're going to a communal place to eat versus being at home. You're already making the choice that it's like more expensive than preparing your own meal. Lots of times it gives you the opportunity to go and get something that you either are incapable of cooking yourself or, quite frankly, you don't want to go through the 10 steps to make. Maybe you're at home, you make a cheap pasta that you put a sauce and some cut up chicken into. You go out somewhere, all of a sudden it's like a sun-dried pesto, something with like 10 more steps that is a little more elevated because lazy versus function, right? I'm gonna go with dine in if I only have one choice. And it's because I think ordering food and paying for food being prepared for you is meant to be an experience, and takeout only exists to bridge the economic gap restaurants face when people try to convince themselves that it's not spending money if they take it home.
I feel like the whole time he was talking, you were thinking of a turtle on a skateboard. Like, that is the expression that was on your face.
You're like, oh no, he cares about this.
So
He's got
Facts and
opinions.
figures. Oh, man.
so Dallas, why is takeout better?
Well, let's say you just don't like people in general. You just want to get the food. You don't want to go into a fancy restaurant. And in fact, it may even save time on getting your food. So if you order food ahead of time before you get to the destination, you can just get to the place and immediately your food is ready. Then you can just take it home, and that way you have all the. You can just watch.
Valid
whatever.
argument, but if you're paying for a meal, presumably you've already thrown the time out the window because you've also thrown the cost out the window. Like something that costs you $30 at a restaurant is 100% an $8 meal. In the
Interesting.
end, that's what it is. You could make it at home.
However-
so
But
you've already thrown that out the window.
However, some people, like what we said before, just isn't that good at cooking. Whereas you can just get that fancy extra sun-dried tomato type meal at your home immediately, or at the time of
I
getting
don't know
it.
what you mean at all by that.
We'll leave it up to we'll leave it up to our listeners and viewers to decide.
You actually had a cohesive argument for the first bit, and then, as usual, it fell to pieces.
I won't lie. I fully expected your argument to be, I like to eat in my underwear. That's really what I thought. It was.
No, like I do respect that, but part of me being in my 30s is I've embraced the idea that like if I want to get breakfast and nobody's around, I go to a diner alone and I sit in a booth alone and I have a coffee and I answer emails and I eat my bacon and eggs because I fucking want that.
To be fair, I do prefer dine-in, but it's just you
but for the
took
for the hill to die on. This next segment gives me a little time to
spineless,
relax.
Dallas.
I don't have to do anything. This is one of Alex's segments. This is Are You Smarter Than Dallas Outsider? Seen It edition.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Seen it like movies?
Yes.
Oh, are we talking current movies?
Well,
Well,
before
this
about
is the original Seen
2010.
It. It came out in
Nice.
about 0305, I
Okay.
think. So.
I feel like right around the time where Marvel got like 18 movies deep. I
this
stopped
is
kinda
before
watching
Marvel.
That. We're
Yeah.
good. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were doing it with Trivial Pursuit.
Or at least this is back in the good old days of independent Marvel films, like the seminal 2003 film Daredevil starring Ben
God
Affleck.
damn it, I hate you.
Let me tell you, Daredevil taught me a lot, and most of it was that it was a bad movie.
I'm not a fan of it. I hate that movie so
The
much.
blind guy playground fight scene was epic.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the rules of the game here are that you get the question first. We're going to give 5 questions. If you can't get it or you want to pass, Dallas gets a chance to steal, and we see if you are smarter than Dallas Outsider.
Okay.
So, name the movie soundtrack that includes Chim Chim Cheree and a spoonful of sugar.
Oh, dude, it's not Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. What is that? Mary Poppins.
It is Mary Poppins.
Maybe Dick Van Dyke all the way.
Step up your game, Dallas. Come on.
In the Pink Panther films, what was the Pink Panther?
Oh, the Pink Panther was a diamond. Oh, no, not a diamond thief. The Pink Panther was the diamond they were trying to steal.
It is a diamond.
Yes.
2-0. You're getting crushed, Dallas. Come on, step it up, man. One tagline for this film stated, 5 criminals, 1 lineup, no coincidence.
Oh, I have like the poster in mind. Is it called The Usual Suspects?
It's The Usual Suspect.
Yeah.
You're getting annihilated, Dallas.
Dude, I'm way better at this than I thought I was going to be. Hell yeah.
What movie includes a cow named Norman, a battery-operated coffee grinder, and Curly?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the film's...
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
jeez. I almost forgot.
What? Sorry, what was the question?
The question was, what movie includes a cow named Norman, a battery-operated coffee grinder, and Curly?
A cow named Norman
Yeah,
and Curly.
and Curly.
I'm just gonna guess Napoleon Dynamite.
It's not Napoleon
This
Dynamite.
has to be a movie from like 87 or something.
It's
you know?
City Slickers.
I'm going to level with you. I have no idea what that movie is.
I've heard of it, and that's about as far as
It's
I've
pretty
gone.
funny.
Okay.
What actor appeared in all of the following films? Raising Arizona, Coyote Ugly, and One Night at McCool's.
Oh, I don't know that.
Dallas?
I'm gonna guess friggin' Tom Selleck.
No,
Damn it.
it's John Goodman.
Oh, interesting.
And with that, Dallas, you have been defeated again.
Yeah.
Three nothing is not.
I feel
That's a
pretty good.
respectable
I
score.
came out swinging pretty early.
We've had a lot of 1-0 in the past, so you're doing well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, the one episode we had, Dallas had a problem with the fact that we were doing an entire band and it was 4-on-1, and that wasn't fair.
You got to do the Grandmaster chess match thing where you take on each one individually.
Oh, that would have been next time.
Next time.
That's a good idea.
This next segment is quick 5-question round. I've got 10 questions for you here.
Okay.
They're opinion questions.
Yeah.
These are just to give our listeners and the FBI a psychological profile of who Matt Stinn
Oh,
is.
man, I'm already flagged by the FBI. We're fine.
But question 1, favorite Jack Black movie?
Ooh. Favorite Jack Black movie? I'm going to have to go with School of Rock.
Good choice.
Solid choice.
It's just like, it's aged much better than others.
It's definitely one of those, definitely a Jack Black film that if you say it's your favorite Jack Black film, no one questions it.
Yeah,
You don't
no,
have
no,
to
no.
defend that choice.
It's a classic. I think the general vibe of the movie still holds up really well. I saw it at an age where I related to the kids, which was interesting. It's just a good movie.
Question 2, what's been your weirdest or nichest celebrity crush?
Oh, nichest. Oh.
You go weird or you can go niche, either way.
That's a weird one. I feel like I had when I was 16, I was really into Rachel McAdams for some reason. Canadian
Yeah.
heartthrob, star of The Notebook.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic actress. Too.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I feel like that's a really white bread choice.
I mean,
And like super not in line with my dating history.
yeah, she's a great actress, and she's very attractive. So it feels like a safe choice. But yeah, if you know you, I guess it's slightly more off kilter.
Yeah, I like crazy people.
Question 3: what's your comfort food?
Ooh, like my go home and just like feeling crappy, make it type food.
Yeah.
I probably eat a disgusting amount of eggs. Like I buy like those flats of like 40 eggs. Yeah. So like honestly, like maybe like just a good omelet or like fried eggs. Like I'll eat that at midnight if I come home after like a long rehearsal.
That seems fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
Question 4: if given the option between elevator and stairs, do you still take the stairs?
Up or down?
Say up.
Elevator up, stairs down, fire neither, get out of the building.
Wait, neither. How are you getting out of the building then?
You just walk back out the front door. I'm at the bottom.
Oh, you mean he walked in and the building's on fire?
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't really need breakfast today.
yeah, that breakfast place is on the second floor and there's a grease fire. I'm not a hero.
As someone who's traveled around the country and potentially the wider world a lot, this is a good question for you. Where has the best tap water?
You know, when I'm traveling, I tend to drink a lot of bottled water, which I think is just it's a convenience thing. It's always on you type thing. But it kind of doubles as a bit of a safety thing. Like I did a good amount of touring in the US and it surprised me how many like major centers we stayed in where like we were in Colorado and there was like notices in our hotel being like, hey, like don't drink the water. And it wasn't like this is a temporary thing. It was like, yeah, no, our water sucks here. Fort Collins has bad water.
Yeah, if you're not near a natural, there's a lot of cities that in the US especially that aren't near a natural water source. If you're not near like a good river or streams,
so it's like technically potable water, but like I feel like bottled water is a way bigger thing in the US. Obviously, we have a long way to go with like water access in Canada, but it's like relatively good considering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The correct answer was Regina, but sorry, not Regina. Regina's the worst water.
Regina's awful water.
It is the worst.
Like, just Regina is awful. It's like Shadow Saskatoon.
The next question is: if you won a chip flavor competition, what flavor would you introduce?
Oh, like a new flavor.
Yeah.
Eggs.
New flavor. Eggs. No, you know what? Maybe like something subtle, because I feel like a lot of chip flavors are trying to like bash you over the head with it. You know, like it's like here's like sharp cheddar aged something like going so, and then like you get things like Cool Ranch, which like kind of just taste like chemical burn.
Yeah.
No offense to the Cool Ranch lovers, but like yeah, I find the chips that I like the most are just like a good classic like salt, like Ripple chip, or like I really, really, really like salt and vinegar from Miss Vicky's, and I figured out why they use malt vinegar, not white vinegar.
Yep.
So it's got like a more rich like flavor to it.
And the chip has a bit more crunch to it on the Miss Vicky's.
So anyway, okay, full circle here. I think if I could choose a texture of chip, it would be like a classic old Dutch Ripple chip, like the wavy ones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then with the flavor of Miss Vicky's Salt and Vinny.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like both mouthfeel and flavor, those are my perfect combos.
That's a good one.
See, Dallas, it doesn't always have to be an interesting, fun flavor of chip. Sometimes the classics are we were on a road trip once.
Yeah.
And Dallas didn't bring any. We were like, Dallas, do you want to bring some snacks with you? And he's like, no, I'm good. So
And then like 20 minutes later, he's like, oh, what you got up there, Ollie? Oh, just some Pringles. Oh, can I have a few? And then Ollie hands him the Pringles. He's like, oh, don't like the fun flavors, do you?
I'm already I'm already salted, man. I like potato and salt, and that's my go-to. And if I'm going adventurous,
We
salt
covered
vinegar.
this, England.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, this bastard has the audacity to complain about the free stuff he was getting from me.
These days.
Don't talk to me until you had your chili cheese Fritos.
The next question: best tree.
Best tree.
Tree.
In what category?
Just best tree.
Best tree overall. Dude, that's hard. Like Canadian forests. I think cedars smell fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to climb a cedar. I like the hand feel of sap. Just like,
Yeah.
dude, I hate that shit. No, I'm gonna go with cedar though. It smells like you walk through like a cedar forest or something, and it's just like so good.
And they look good. They're a
They
good
look
looking
good. They
tree.
smell good. They're really good insulators actually. So like you'll be in like the interior BC and it'll be like -25, -30, and then you walk into a grove of cedars and immediately the wind is cut and it like, you know, obviously it's still -25, but it feels more like 10, 15, and like they are the like if I had to think about like what tree I think represents Canada in my mind, it would be cedars in the BC forests.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. What household item would you like to have a chat with?
Just like kind of let it know what's up, find out what its experience is,
Yeah.
or what. My microwave. Why does it have to beep so fucking much?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Like, just give me one beep. I know my food's cooking. I'm gonna come get it. I don't need you screaming at me across the house, signaling at 3 a.m. that my shame meal is done.
My stove does that where the timer goes out and then before you can even get to it, it's beeping again.
Oh,
Like it doesn't
man.
even give you 5 seconds.
Sorry,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to say, mine beeps at a minute left.
I hate that.
It beeps when it's.
I hate that.
It's now fully pre-cut, like preheated, and it beeps when it's done, and it will beep again if after it's done if you haven't gone to check
That's
on
like
it.
the person who routinely texts you 20 minutes before you have plans to check that plans are still happening. Of course they're happening. I'm an adult. I have a calendar. I will see you at 2 p.m. like I said.
Take some notes, Dallas.
I think Micro is a good choice. Next one. What chain restaurant has the best bathrooms?
Oh. Chain restaurants.
I'll expand this out as well to fast food, coffee shops, anything that you expect to find.
Okay, so if we're talking touring, there's pros and cons to each, right? Like Tim Hortons has like their like one stall, but they're like it's like a room as a stall, so it's like nice and private. But then they're just like, here's one ply, have a good time. No, McDonald's is always somehow a war zone.
Yeah.
You know what? If we're talking touring in relation to like the highway and stuff, co-ops have consistently clean and large bathrooms.
It's hard to always find them, but if you can find one, they are good.
I find they're really good in Western Canada, and then like the minute you get east of Winnipeg, it's like get gone.
Yeah.
But also as soon as you're into Ontario, you get those en route things, which are like it's like this little mall on the side of the road, like on like 401 and shit like that, where like you pull in and you walk into it. It's like a little mini mall. And there's just like 7 or 8 like food court style restaurants, and then just good washrooms.
Yeah, in the UK
And
they're called
those are-
service stations,
Yeah.
and we have them everywhere.
Yeah, they actually provide service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, no. Can I update that though?
Sure.
If we're talking in the U.S., and this is specifically in the U.S., Buc-ee's.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've heard some good
Okay.
stuff about Buc-ee's.
I wasn't prepared for the emotional response I would feel when I walked into a gas station that was bigger than a Walmart.
Yes.
And then a big burly man, clearly in his 60s, started screaming at the top of his lungs, fresh brisket, while he cut up like a 10-pound slab of meat they just pulled out of a smoker, and people lined up. Because this place serves barbecue,
Oh yeah.
casual trinkets on the side of the road, knives, gas. I'm pretty sure you could buy a gun if you asked the right person. Like, the U.S. is insane.
Buc-ee's feels like a Texas theme park.
Buc-ee's is peak America.
It really is.
I'm not saying peak in terms of like good. I'm just saying like anything that you think is American is for sale in
And
Buc-ee's.
I love the fact that any Buc-ee's, not like the special.
No, all of them, every
have like
Buc-ee's.
50 gas pumps.
Yep.
And they're lined up
That's
individually.
just on the
They're
car
not-
side.
They're not
That's-
stacking
dude,
up, yeah.
That's just on the car side. You go to the truck side, there's like 8 semis at one time fueling. And you're like, who came up with this? It is the promised land of gasoline. It is. Like it's kind of like from a consumption standpoint, it's terrifying and horrible. Also, they are one of the only gas stations in the US that actually serves proper brewed coffee. Most gas stations in the U.S. are just instant coffee.
Yeah.
So even if you get fresh coffee from them, it's like instant from grounds and kind of tastes like crap.
Nice.
I will say, yeah, like I agree with you. Like, Buc-ee's might be the sign of the end time, but if you're going to embrace that, it's the best place to be.
It's a sign of the end times, but if you're in Mississippi already, like go to Buc-ee's, man.
And this is my last question for you in the quickfire round. Sports, question mark.
I took part in sports in high school. It was like multiple sports. Like I did wrestling, I did football, things like that. Like from a playing them standpoint, I think at the time I enjoyed them. From a watching them standpoint, I can respect that there's an audience and people who interact with them and like really care about it. It makes zero sense to me, man.
Not a sports guy.
No, it's just like I don't understand watching sports. Well, no, like I understand it like fundamentally as like why somebody likes it, why somebody interacts with it, why it's a pastime and an interest. But that's just not my vibe. And then like when we're talking like sports, yeah, like there's some that are obviously more interesting than others, but like baseball, you're watching for 4 hours for 15 minutes of like movement, and then there's like just like kind of like a middle-aged like overweight guy who like lobbed the ball out of the park and is like sucking air while he's trying to run the bases, but he makes $8 million a year.
Yeah,
And it's the greatest thing
You also
that
should-
anyone
You know what?
has ever done.
That's the American dream.
It
It
is.
is.
You are in no way in peak physical condition, yet you are competing in peak.
Yeah.
As two husky men, we like watching baseball to think that there's still hope for us.
You're like, that's the dream. I could do.
I aspire to be
I
Big
could
Poppy.
really work. I could really work on my swing. Okay, so I did have somebody like preach to me kind of the beautiful mysticism of baseball. So the average fastball apparently moves at about 90 to 95 miles an hour. And the distance from the mound to the distance from the pitcher's mound to home plate is about 2.25 seconds at that speed.
Yeah.
Okay. So a fastball takes 2.25 seconds to leave the pitcher's hand and hit the batter. The average human takes who has we're talking like Ferrari racing reflexes, takes just under half a second to notice movement.
Yeah.
And then another, I think it's like something like 3/4 second to make a decision as to whether or not they swing.
Yeah.
And the average swing takes almost 2 seconds to complete.
Yeah.
Which means from a mathematical perspective, the batter is choosing to swing roughly half a second before a pitch is thrown.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that,
That
any
is
ball ever gets hit.
insane.
It makes you appreciate a little bit more
No, it is
why like batting 300 is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a skill. I'm not going to shit on it, and I think more than other sports, intuition is a really big thing in baseball.
Yeah.
So I recognize why people find it impressive, and I recognize why people react the way they do and have a visceral love for it. But also, I am not going to go pay $100 to then pay $12 for a hot dog to sit 300 feet away while I'm surrounded by 1,000 other people in my personal space screaming for 15 minutes of action in a 3-hour time period.
Fair enough.
I just I can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, as a kid, I wasn't a big sports fan. As I've got older, I've got really into it.
What's your sport of choice?
Baseball.
Okay.
Baseball, ice hockey, rugby, cricket. Those are my big
You
four.
should have Declan on the podcast, and you guys should talk baseball.
Oh,
that guy is so into baseball.
Interesting. We'll get.
Yeah.
We will get on
Write that down. Write that down.
We will get on that.
That's the last of my questions, Alex. You've got the next.
Well,
segment.
my only segment for the quickfire round is this is called Settle an Argument. And so this is where I gather data based on a disagreement that my fiance and I have had and try to prove that she's wrong. And so currently this will probably be the last bit of data I need on this one, which is what I do with my dirty clothes is I put them directly in the washing machine because they're going to end up there anyway.
Okay.
I have a hamper and all that, but the washing machine is it's more convenient for me to just leave it there.
Yeah.
And then she gets mad when she goes to do her laundry and it's already full and no one told her that. So I'm supposed to stop doing that. Thoughts?
Okay, I got one for you. Or I got thoughts on this anyways. First off, we can disregard the fact that you don't separate your laundry, you animal.
Who has the time for that?
No. All jokes aside, I wait till I have to do my laundry, and it's big load.
Yeah.
Everything is in there. If it's meant to be, it will be. The end. Okay, so I think younger me would have been with you and would have been like, my laundry's not strewn about. It's whatever.
Yeah.
If it's full, just throw my stuff in a basket. It's not that big of a deal. But so anyways, long story short, coming full circle, being, on both sides of a conversation like that in different relationships, I think I can really, really understand where she's coming from. And if I'm going to take a side, I'm going to take her side.
Nice.
And say that because it's not her saying I don't think she's being unreasonable, but I also don't think you're being expectant. You're not doing that so it's her problem. You're doing it because it's easier for you.
Yeah.
But if you can also just be accruing your laundry in a different place that now doesn't create a barrier for her,
Yeah.
I think that's the better way to go.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it hasn't been a serious conversation yet, it will be eventually.
There's a brick. There's a brick somewhere in the house that's going to your head.
It's a boiled frog situation, right? Because that's the thing. Is like you putting your laundry away in the washing machine is not a problem.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't until the day it is. And the big reason it's a problem is because you changing where you store your laundry literally doesn't affect your life at all.
Yeah.
Right? But you changing where you store your laundry could really affect her life based on how her day's going.
Should we get Matt to do a Dr. Phil-esque?
No, not at all. Because I feel like there are some topics like this that I am very understanding of, and like partially from like, you know, my own like past relationships or like shit that just didn't work out and kind of trying to learn and understand why.
Yeah.
But then there's also stuff I'm fucking oblivious to. like to kind of commiserate with you, like me leaving bottles that I've cleaned out and are ready to throw out on the side of the sink.
Yeah.
That's my 13th reason, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be the reason Marley leaves me.
Well, as far as this segment goes, I think, Lacey, you've got me again.
Yeah, you lost. You lost, dog.
The last one was about toasters. That one was more 50-50.
I had Adam Beidel text me this morning. He clearly listened to the latest episode, as he usually does. And he literally texted me this morning. He's like, okay, give me a rundown on what your toaster is, because this is what I'm imagining. And I sent him a video. I'm like, okay, Adam, so you see the two sides of this toaster. When I do this, it does this.
So I have a toaster I bought from Amazon Basics for $45 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I have to push it down 3 times before it clicks in and works. And I'm perpetually scared it will burn my house down like that episode of This Is Us. But I have not replaced it because on the 3rd try, it always works.
Yeah.
And like now that I've said it out loud, I think I'm going to go buy a new toaster.
Importantly, is it a 2-slice toaster or a 4-slice
Oh,
toaster?
God, don't bring it up
Just 2.
again.
I'm not a fancy boy.
No, it was my when Sam and I moved in together. It was my one insistence is that we're getting a 4-slice toaster.
Well, if you know what your bread consumption is like.
Yeah. If I'm making breakfast for the two of us, I need a 4-slicer.
I respect that.
I must be having like incredible luck with toasters because I've never had like a bad toaster.
Oh, no, I've had the same toaster for like a decade.
I had in my university. This is the last point we'll make, and then we'll move on. At my university, at my university housing, I lived with 7 other guys. In that house,
I'm sorry for that.
In that house, there was 8 of us, plus the occasional girlfriend. There would quite commonly be up to 15 people in that house at any one point.
Fuck that.
One of the guys, his only job when we moved in was, can you buy a toaster? We're all buying different things.
He went and got a 2-slicer?
He got a crappy Tesco own brand. So like,
You walk that friend out to the
2-slice.
frozen lake, you get him to stand on the ice, you chip away, and you push him off.
I made him.
You set him adrift.
No,
He's not your friend.
He isn't anymore. He also once he used to always steal my food, so I once made him. I left a curry out made from cat food just for him to find and eat.
That is so next level vindictive, my dude. That is amazing. Like I'm not even mad. That's just impressive.
I've done things in my life that I'm not proud of.
I would be proud of that.
I'm proud of that one.
That's one to be proud of.
This next segment, this one of our last segments, this is Who Said It. I'm going to give you 2 tweets.
Oh no.
Dallas is the only person I know who is very pro Twitter. So you're going to get a tweet.
He's not pro Twitter. He just uses it a lot.
Yeah.
And he's.
But
I used to have a Twitter, and the only thing I would do is pick a different politician I had beef with and just tweet "fuck you" to them on a daily basis.
So,
and then John Gormley banned me. So
I'm going to give you one tweet that's come from this week. The guest account is NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Agency.
Amazing. Okay.
And the other one is from the gremlin that's sitting opposite you.
and I have to decide who said it.
Yeah. So the first one is SpaceX Crew 8 mission is ready for their journey home.
It sounds like NASA would say it, but because it reads as an autistic kid just excited, I think it's you.
Well, this is the next. I'll let you know if you're right. This is the next one. So do you think this one was sent by a government agency of the United States that's well respected around the world, or Dallas Outsider, born to smelt it, forced to delt it?
No, that's NASA. That's 100% NASA. Okay, so no. So I think all of these companies have started to realize right now that like the internet is slowly devolving into shitposts.
You think
okay?
they've got?
Have
you
you
think NASA
seen,
have gone full Wendy's?
Dude, have you seen Duolingo's TikTok?
Yes, it's
Or
insane.
Nutter Butter's TikTok. Dude, between the two of them, it's like they 100% like handed a phone to an 18-year-old and said, we will pay you $100,000 if our sales go up. And this kid is sitting there like making skibbity toilet jokes on behalf of like a multinational brand. It is insane.
I think my favorite one is Slim Jim, just because they don't post anything on like Instagram or TikTok.
They don't need
but
to. We know what it is.
They comment aggressively on random videos that just say like "true" or "so me." Like they're not even posting like quippy stuff. It's just like a normal comment, but it's come from the official Slim Jim.
Get it, girl.
And this is the.
Hold on. Can we go back to that for a second?
Yeah.
Imagine Slim Jim just going through thirst traps on TikTok, being like, "Pop your pussy, girl."
They do. They do. They'll post it like it'll be like a model doing a dance, and they're just like, "Yas, queen, I love this."
Yeah. You know what? If Slim Jim commented on any piece of content I ever created, I would probably frame it.
I don't know if I haven't seen it. I don't know if I've just come up with it in my fever dream mind or if I've seen it, but I feel like I've seen Slim Jim comment on someone saying, "I'd love to snap into you," but that might just be a fever dream that I've had. They should write that though.
Jeez.
Wow. But this is our last segment. This is called Secret Time.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 4 secrets.
Okay.
One of them is true about each of us, except for one that is a fake out.
Sorry, so can I quantify? The one secret is true to everybody?
No, so there's one that's true about Alex, one that's true about Dallas, one that's true about me, and one that's fake.
Okay.
You've got to get them in the right order.
Got you.
One of our fathers is a mayor.
This kid's got daddy's mayor vibe.
One of our fathers was absent.
Absinthe?
Absent.
Absent. One of
The
our
way you said that.
one of our mothers manages and operates a graveyard,
Okay.
and one of our fathers ran for not for Congress, ran for legislative stuff.
Okay, so you, based on the name you picked, like Praise Jesus guy, right? Like you seem like you were into that, and like on the back end. So I feel like your dad ran for legislator in the U.S. Yeah, that I think that's a good guess. Okay. You guys all had dads. I don't know if they hugged you, but you all had dads. I'm sure of it. You're graveyard mom. You're for sure graveyard mom. Like you got that vibe, man. And like not like Addams Family, like you didn't make Nightmare Before Christmas your whole personality or anything, but like Mom dug holes.
I like a good spooky movie.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Sorry.
Father's mayor, father's absent.
Oh man, it goes both ways. Like you're wearing a ghost shirt. Your dad might not have been around, but also like, where are you guys all from? Like, what's your hometown for everybody?
Vancouver, rural Manitoba, Nottingham, England.
You're from Vancouver. Have you lived anywhere else in your life besides Vancouver and Saskatoon?
I lived in Edmonton for a year.
Okay, your dad didn't govern in Edmonton and Vancouver. Their municipal politics are actually, they run on a party system. So like your dad didn't do that. Sorry, man, he didn't. Also, like I'm pretty sure the current mayor of Vancouver is an Asian guy. Like I'm not trying to make assumptions here, but like you look pretty white.
Hey, Dallas is a little bit matey.
Fly that flag, man. Hell yeah.
His real name is Dallas Hong.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with mayor. Mayor is a lie.
Yeah. Mayor is true.
Mayor is
but
true.
Not about Dallas.
You?
Me. I'm from a town of 800 people.
Oh no, that's not a mayor. That's the person that people trust a little more than the others.
He's officially allowed to be called May.
He was the Reeve, and then they amalgamated with the RM, and it was a whole thing.
Okay.
And my mother operates, manages a graveyard.
Oh, so it's the politician?
Yeah, none of our fathers ever ran for
Really?
anything like any great
Okay.
legislature.
Okay.
And Dallas, you know your dad, but like not.
I told you that my mom worked for the mayor.
I forgot the thing when you said
he
it.
told you his mom worked for the mayor, and you went with Dallas's dad wasn't around.
I couldn't remember at the time.
Hell, man.
Sorry, Dallas.
What the hell?
You do have a great family, though.
Jeez.
You're like, I know all of this about Dallas, but your dad wasn't around.
It's because I looked over and I just remembered the Grand Prairie story.
Honestly, I feel like the ghost shirt should have been a giveaway. Like anytime
That's one of the funniest things anyone has ever said on
it's
this
just
podcast.
it's got a vibe to it, and the vibe is my mother raised me, and that's okay. No, that's totally good, man. Like ghost is rad.
The ghost shirt, the Gerard Way hair.
No, yeah, I just feel like if I was 16 being raised by like a conservative-ish parent and they walked into me like blasting Ghost or watching a music video, they'd be like, "What's this gay shit?"
No, he's working with his parents, the Evanescence the other day.
Yeah, that was good.
It's Good show.
Good to know.
Anyway, thank you so much, Matt. We've made it to the end of all our
Thanks
segments.
for having me.
We've scraped the bottom of the barrel. I've run out of things I have to say, and I forgot some of them to begin with. Is there anything you'd like to say? The music ban is now over. If you want to shout anything out or like
anything to promote?
When does this podcast come out? Like what day?
Yeah, this will come out sort of mid-November.
Mid-November.
Early mid-November, yeah.
Ooh, okay. If it comes out before November 8th, my band Greenwing is playing a tour kickoff for a cross-Canada tour, November 8th at Black Cat Tavern in Saskatoon. Other than that, if you're based in Saskatoon, you should vote in the municipal election. Spend some time, figure out who's running in your ward. Make sure that you understand, because when you're voting municipal, you're not just voting for a possible mayor, but you're voting for a representative for your ward, and you're also voting for people running for school board. And you might think that doesn't matter, but a lot of people use school board to enter politics at a municipal level and then climb to a higher level, usually provincial or federal. So it is really important to be researching who you can vote for on the various levels in that election and actually understand those people's platform.
Anyway, well, thank you so much, Matt Stinn. Thank you so much to my co-host. Thank you so much to Haines Mile for hosting us. Thank you so much for Funky Moose for putting it out, for Outsider Radio for editing all this. And thank you so much for listening, watching, and reading along.
And now it's time for our fade out segment, which is every guest's least favorite segment, which is this your card? So, Matt, would you pick a card for me here?
God. You're either going to be really good at this or just horrible.
Well, ask Aaron Ballband. I actually did really
show
well.
that camera there.
Show one of the cameras.
And now we'll put that back in the deck. Oh.
We're going big. We're going big on the proof here.
Oh.
Okay, we got her.
Okay.
See what you got going on.
All right, now shuffle-upagus here.
Would it be considered unethical for me to just blatantly lie to you when you show me my card?
Maybe. Is this your card?
Oh, God, no.
Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card?